Hey there,
I'm Nick,
and I'm Ahmed.
and this is Not So Fine.
How's it going, guys?
Hey guys.
Today we are going to be featuring the Johnnie Walker, as you saw, Johnnie Walker Black in the intro. Look, to be clear, this is not to say JW Black is awful.
No.
So that's not the point of the video at all. It's not to say JW Black is even bad.
No.
It's
It's
just
drinkable and beyond.
100%. But what it is to say, in my opinion, more popular than its quality merits. Its reputation precedes itself.
Absolutely. People buy it because it's Johnnie Walker. Not
From
so
Johnnie
much...
Walker Blue fame,
Right.
stuff like that. You know, it's a JW. This is something I say to people all the time. If you're into sound, it's Bose. If you're into watches, it's Rolex. If you're into whiskey, it's Johnnie Walker.
Yep.
A Rolex is bad? No, they're awesome. Are a lot of Bose products exceptional? 100%. Bose QC35s and whatever the new names are, but the 700s, the frames,
700s,
whatever. The 901s historically, really cool stuff.
Yep. That is true.
Not
No doubt.
cheap or bad or crummy or whatever.
Just not the best value for the dollar.
Correct.
It's really
There
at
are
the end
better
of the day.
performing things typically, basically only in comparison to what the particular things are. In the case of Bose, maybe it's Sennheiser or Audio-Technica headphones. In the case of Rolexes, maybe it's some really nice Seikos or Tissot or I don't know, or on the opposite end, right?
Yeah.
Things that are more expensive, but that people don't even know about. When it comes to audio, maybe it's Bowers and Wilkins.
Sure.
When it comes to watches, maybe it's Patek Philippe. When it comes to Scotch, when it comes to whiskey, we've
Might
gone
be Macallan, Glenmorangie.
correct for the really high end stuff, or it might be not pictured, but Monkey Shoulder. It might be Green Spot, Irish whiskey.
That's Irish.
Yeah, it might be. Heck, I'll even say something that performs similarly in my book to a Johnnie Walker is maybe even like just a decent quality Wild Turkey 101. Like, I love that. It's rough and tough and tumble and 101 proof and all that. It's to me a more fun drink than a Walker Black a lot of times.
That's fair.
I really guess the competitor there is Walker Red. I'll say this video is maybe about Johnnie Walker products a lot of times in general,
that's fair.
but more specifically, obviously, about Black.
Yep.
So let's, I haven't had Walker Black in a while. I've had this particular bottle for maybe 2 years. So let's give it a taste.
Very good. Johnnie Walker Black. It's a blended whiskey from Scotland. It is considered Scotch, which means that this liquid that is being poured into our glasses right now has been aged in new oak barrels for a minimum of 3 years.
And 12 in the case of this guy.
Yes. So the black label is 12 years aged in oak barrels. So that will.
So the way that age statements work for blendeds is there could perhaps be older whiskeys in this. But it really has to sort of take the age statement of the youngest whiskey.
That is correct.
Of the blend. So in this case, the youngest whiskey of the blend is a 12-year. I don't know if they make any claims for having older. Maybe they do.
I'm not sure.
Be.
I know with the blue label they do.
Yeah, sure.
They say anywhere between 26 and 60 years.
Yep.
Which is very interesting for that. But anyway, we'll see what's on the nose.
It's classic Scotch.
Well, you know, I was just going to say it smells like Scotch.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. You know, that's just to say, hey, you know, this is quintessential Scotch.
Honeyed, buttery.
Yep. You get notes of the barrel big time,
100%.
right? That's a huge thing there. Definitely a little spicy. It's not like a Macallan that's perfectly smooth,
yeah,
right?
it's
They kind of
spiky.
roll off those spices. Here we definitely have a little bit of roughness, a little bit of texture, if you will.
Sure.
With the spice. I don't get like a whole lot of fruit or anything like that.
No, dark, sort of sweet vanilla, honey, buttery, a little bit of barrel spice in a vague sense. But barrel notes for sure. It smells like wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely get the wood in there. No floral notes or anything like that. I'd say we've basically covered what's on the nose of this particular whiskey.
Yeah. See if it tastes.
It doesn't seem like there's much more to it there.
A lot of smoke. Not really like. I'll even say kind of like artificial smoke, like kind of like
a liquid smoke.
Like a liquid smoke. That's exactly what I was going after. Not unpleasant,
no,
but you don't get a ton of the sweetness. But again, it is kind of the quintessential musty Scotch flavor.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's palatable.
It is.
It's palatable.
It's certainly drinkable. Again, you know, this is not a bad whiskey.
No.
It's just in terms of what else you can get for your money, probably not the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I am in the same boat.
Doesn't leave a super strong coating on the tongue. You get a lot of warmth with this whiskey, both on the tongue and kind of toward the back of your palate. Toward the front, some kind of
definitely
like
tasting
vanilla-y.
the malt.
Yeah, you get some malt in there. That's like in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it does linger. Like I'm still tasting this
Different
whiskey.
stuff, yeah. But it's not terribly complex, not terribly deep. Definitely wouldn't call it one note.
It's basically it's not one note, but at the same time, it's the same few notes.
Sure.
It's not like some whiskeys where it's like, oh man, I've got this going on in the
Jazz
beginning,
album.
right?
Yeah,
right, and then you know, in the middle, I still have stuff, and in the end, I'm evolved to something different.
Sure.
You know, in this case, it's very consistent, and maybe that's what Johnnie Walker was going after here, was to have a consistent flavor, bottle to bottle, case to case.
I could see how someone would maybe drink this a few times a week.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan, if
Could be
it's
a
kind of
daily driver.
if it's your go-to, yeah. I could see how someone would consistently be like, yeah, you know what? Walker Black. That's good enough, but also, you know, relatively inexpensive.
Sure.
But again, the kind of the point of this,
and if they didn't know of the other options, I think that would be important as well.
and that's the case, though. That's my point.
Yeah.
I can see why people do it.
Sure.
Why really sort of search for other options if you like what you got.
That is fair.
What we're doing here is just pouring a little bit of water. Going to swish it around just to try to take out the flavor of the JW for our next pour, because we're lazy and don't want to wash that many glasses. Little spinning action there. Clean the sides as I drink it. Very technical.
Yes, very scientific.
So,
Compass box. You want to do that?
doesn't matter. Let's do the Compass box first, because to me, it's a more 1-to-1. Why? Because they're both blended.
Yep.
Now this guy does come in at a higher price point. I think the Glenmorangie does as well.
Glenmorangie's 65 to 70.
Yeah, so these are both a touch more expensive. I believe this goes for like around $70. Obviously, that depends heavily on your location. What
your liquor store wants to charge
distribution,
you.
even just your area, right? Like what distribution looks like. But Compass Box, for the uninitiated, they only do blends. Now, it's not sort of like Johnnie Walker, where I think it's a brand. I don't want to talk bad about Johnnie Walker. But what I would say is the Compass Box, this particular guy being Spice Tree, or the Spice Tree, it's a master blender whiskey maker. In this case, John Glazer, or Glosser. I don't know. I'm sorry, John. And they source whiskeys from a bunch of different distilleries, in Scotland, and do a master sort of combination to create a specific flavor profile, and maintain consistency. Although I don't think they make all their products for too long.
No.
This is a little higher proofed as well. So this is a 46% ABV, where I believe Walker Black is a 40. Let's verify that.
I'd like to say that's the case.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 40 even. So the 40 being the barrier to entry alcohol percentage wise to qualify as a whiskey.
Yes.
Or really also as a spirit. I believe everything sub 40 can be classified as liqueur, perhaps.
You might be right in saying that.
Yeah, I think that might be. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head, but most spirits are 40 at a minimum. Don't remember the legality of it. Funny thing I saw online once was international law only exists in international law textbooks.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's funny to me.
Yeah. So crack open this Compass box here and see how we do.
Light pours. No need to get crazy with it.
The color seems like it might be a little bit lighter than Walker Black.
Got a little bit of whiskey on my hand.
Oh, well.
Oh.
Yeah. I was saying the color seems to be a little bit lighter than it does for Walker Black. I don't know.
Not a lot.
It's still like a golden honeyed sort of color, but it's a little bit lighter.
I'll say maybe 5 to 10% lighter.
Yeah.
That is so sweet.
Yes. Very sweet on the nose.
Candied. Like a honey oaky caramel. Similar to the color, honestly. It's like what I imagine a liquid that looks like this would smell like.
Yeah.
Good idea. I don't know what I'm getting there. Maybe like a little bit of like black licorice. Are you getting that at all? Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I think that's a fair assessment.
You know what? I never even checked out sort of what they had to say. Toasty oak. We mentioned that.
Yep. That's a similarity of Johnnie Black.
Scotches.
Any barrel aged Scotch in general.
Rich, round, intense. I'm not seeing anything too descriptive outside of that. Whatever. Oh, baking spices.
On the palate, I would agree.
Yeah. Okay, I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah.
Let's,
give it a
not
try.
again, anyhow.
Baking spices like nutmeg and cinnamon for sure.
Oh yeah. That's deep.
Yes.
That's
It seems
A
like
lot more complex.
yeah. It seems like, for me anyway, the middle of the palate is almost blank. It's almost empty. I get a lot up front and I get a lot in the back.
That's fair.
The back is, again, that sort of warmth that comes from a warming beverage like whiskey.
Oakiness.
Definitely get the oakiness. And that's, for me, like the vanilla especially, and those baking spices that they mentioned.
The vanilla
those are very
is like
upfront.
a raw vanilla
It is.
type of flavor.
Yep.
Not particularly what you might expect from just a traditional vanilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, it melds well with the baking spice sort of notes. It's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Not nearly as sweet on the palate as it is on the nose.
That is true. And that,
Significantly
I believe, again,
sweeter on the nose. That's common, but
yes.
it's a little unexpected. I was expecting a bit more of that sort of candied caramel, toasted nut type of flavors.
Which now, as it sits in my mouth a little bit longer, that warmth has kind of evolved to having maybe a caramel-like consistency. I don't know. It's
Before I swallow, I'm getting take another sip. And before you swallow, try to really think about the flavor. I'm getting a sweetened, candied, vanilla-y note. Not huge, but it's there. As you swallow, it turns to warmth, and then sort of back into sweetness.
yeah, sort of.
But were you getting that when it was in your mouth?
Yes, there was definitely a sweetness that was there in the mouth, and then upon swallowing, it kind of left.
Again, a little bit more money than JW Black.
A little bit.
Probably priced more similarly to like JW Green, which is a single malt. Maybe similar to Gold. I think Gold might be a bit more than
I think
either of
Gold
these.
is above Green.
Yeah, it might be. It's sort of.
I think it's red, black.
It's red,
green.
black. Well, red, black, double black.
Yes.
Which is like the smokified version. Maybe we can compare that to like an Oban and an Ardbeg in the future.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Or something like that. Or Kulila. I think that's might be how you say that. But
Yes.
Isla stuff. Where and again, all of these whiskeys, whatever smoke we're getting, real strong chance they've sourced it from an Isla distillery, like Kalila, like Ardbeg,
Ardbeg is a big one, yeah.
Lefroy.
Oban is not Isla, I don't believe.
Oh, really? Oban's kind of smoky though.
It is.
I guess it's more peaty than smoky.
Well, that's the thing. You add the peat in there, and that's what you get.
Okay, good to know.
Yes.
A lot of warmth. And the spice is kind of intense.
As we drink more of it, I agree.
I'm getting like a lot of spice on my tongue right now.
Yeah. That warmth's still there. Vanilla-y.
I have to say, I like that better than the last time we tasted it. The last time we tasted it, it felt a little bit meager relative to its kind of higher price point.
Mm.
But this time around, I'm liking it. I like it. It's pretty good. Smell your glass.
Wow.
Honey.
Wood chips. Honey.
For days. It's so sweet.
Very, very sweet.
Definitely getting the wood chips as well.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Definitely there.
Like literally, like you shaved a bit of a tree and put some honey.
Yep. Yep, that's definitely accurate.
Cool.
Moving on to the Glenmorangie.
Nectar Dior.
Yes.
So aged in American oak bourbon casks, and finished in
Sauterine.
Sauterine casks. a sweet and sumptuous whiskey. Pretty cool.
Yeah. French Sauterine wine is typically very honeyed. It's very much like liquid honey, essentially.
Its taste, so rarely achieved, is enjoyed throughout the world.
Well, let's see if they live up to that claim.
Yeah. Been around since 1843.
Yeah, 16 men obtain.
That's some time.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
No problem.
Let's see how we do.
That is one thing to point out, by the way. This is a single malt Scotch whiskey, as opposed to
The
the
blended Scotch is
correct.
the others.
Also, I believe it does not have an age statement.
It does. It not on the bottle, strictly speaking, but upon looking at Glenmorangie's website, you'll find that the first 10 years are in the American oak barrels, and there's an
Gotcha.
extra 2 years of what they call maturation.
So it's a 12.
So it is a 12-year
Okay.
whiskey.
There you go. Not on the bottle. I believe Spice Tree 2 did not have
An age statement.
an age statement. And again, maybe they do, but I don't think they do.
At least not on the bottle.
At least not on the bottle. Yeah. Perhaps reference the website. Let us know in the comments. Give the video a like. Give it a dislike if you're liking it. Let us know if you agree, if you disagree. How do you feel about Johnnie Walker? How do you feel about even other things we mentioned? Rolex, Bose, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is all opinionated, subjective stuff. To call anything better, worse, amazing, terrible, there's not a lot of objectivity.
That's true.
It's whatever you perceive.
I want to say the Glenmorangie is another 46%er.
Oh yeah. I didn't actually mention the ABV yet.
Yeah, I believe it's on the front.
Let's check. Yeah, 46. Where the compass box, was that also 46?
46 or 43?
46.
46.
Okay, so same proof.
So these two are the same proof then.
Interesting. Sweeter. The spice is definitely mostly gone.
Yep.
A lot more spice with the Spice Tree.
Yes.
Go figure.
That makes sense.
Calling it Nectar is not. I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
Much smoother.
Yes. Extremely smooth. Honey for days and days and days.
Definitely getting that American bourbon, the bourbon
the
barrel.
fresh oak.
Yeah. Exactly. New oak barrels. For sure, that's there.
Yep.
That taste. I don't know. I feel like I'm walking around a lumber yard, and just getting that smell in my mouth.
Do.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's good.
Yeah, and compared to the Spice Tree, the spice is very much subdued. Even on the
it's
palate.
there, but it feels tiny compared to.
Oh yeah, compared to the
Spice
honey, compared to the vanilla oaky sort of flavor that you get, that lumberyard sort of presentation there.
Not the world's most complicated drink.
No.
Pretty good. There was definitely more going on in the Spice Tree, but this is a more, I'll say, refined.
Yeah, very smooth, very refined. Perhaps that refinement is just the ease of the presentation.
And what's the
of
cost of
flavors.
this guy here?
Gosh, I wanted to say I paid $67 for that, something like that.
Okay, so these are relatively similar.
Yeah, those two are very similar. The Walker Black, what does that come in? 50?
I think you can reference it. Just I believe about $50.
Okay. Let's see here.
Yeah, about 40, 50 bucks.
Yeah, that's fair.
What I'm seeing online. Some folks seem to have it for a little cheaper. I guess it depends on where you are. I have seen it a little cheaper here and there. But, you know, not the most inexpensive thing in the world. But also, yeah, again, single malt versus blended, there are differences. This is not an end-all, be-all. If you drink Johnnie Walker Black, you should start buying Nectar Dior. No, I mean, that's not the point at all.
Definitely not.
What is the point, though, is there's no reason not to branch out. Johnnie Walker is not the end-all, be-all. There are not only better options, but different options.
Certainly different options. And there's a lot available at relatively low price points as well. That you can get yourself into that are flavors that are distinctly different than Johnnie Walker Black. Some of them are more complex. You know, it's something where at the very least it's worth trying.
Yep. Really cheap stuff. Irish whiskey, the Irishman is awesome. I forgot the name, but the Jameson finish in IPA casks.
Yes.
The monkey.
You're talking Redbreast there.
Oh no, Redbreast as well.
Yeah.
No, there's another one that's like Jameson Cask Mates or something like that.
I see.
It's pretty good. There's also Redbreast is a little not that cheap, but the entry level one's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
At 55, 60 bucks, something like that. But even for way cheaper, the Irishman, like you can get a liter bottle of that Irish whiskey, nice honeyed, sort of like candy green apple flavors, and a little bit of peat, for like 25 bucks for a liter.
Pretty inexpensive, I'll tell you.
Yeah, or Monkey Shoulder. It was a little cheaper before. It's become real popular. In the since that time.
Yeah, it's still like 35, 40
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah. It was like 25.
Yeah.
Now is like 35, or 30, like depending on kind of like where you're at.
Yeah.
But a lot of options, a lot of different flavor profiles, at really, really reasonable prices. The whole idea of Not So Fine is not to trash things. Not always. But to say that it's maybe a little more popular than we think it should be, and it kind of outshines some other products that are better or cheaper. Cheaper and as good. But I think that's kind of it.
I think that covers it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said a million times before, if you like the content, subscribe, like it, leave a comment, tap that bell. Because that's the actual subscribe button, like we've said again and again and again.
Oh yeah.
If you want to actually see the content, that's the way to do it. And then check out the description. We have information, links to some of the information on these bottles, as well as a link to our social media platforms, which what we're using right now is just Twitter and Instagram, posting some cool stuff about the show, other interesting, finer stuff that Nick and I do outside of what we put in video. If you want to see that, give those a follow. But otherwise, thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day.
Yep.